Quiet on set. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Let's Poddy podcast with your host, Benji Weatherly. It's the podcast where you learn absolutely nothing.
All right. Hello there. Let's potty. I finally get to have somebody in my life that never gets in front of the camera. He's always on the other side of the camera. He's created all the hits from Drive Thru to some of the big body glove films and tons of other projects. I mean, he does wakeboard videos, for God's sakes. I don't even know where this guy goes half the year. I have Greg Browning here with me today.
Hey, Benji.
Yeah, I mean, we have such a history. It's incredible. But just to see him doing such different things, and now you're coaching one of the top women surfers in the world, and I kind of got shocked by that. But then I realized when I met him as a 14-year-old kid, he was the national champion for the NSSA, which in layman terms is like the best amateur kid for his division in America, or well, West Coast at least. And so I knew you had that in you, but you have been kind of doing so many other things. Was it weird to get back into the competition scene?
It's funny because with Tatiana, I don't do the technical coaching. It's all Ross Williams. So Ross does everything, what she needs to be working on, boards, technique, everything like that. Whereas me, it's really like doing a drive-through. But instead of having 5 guys,
Crazy, weird,
you get
grown men.
one girl, and it's about equal, I think.
Wow.
So, no, it's different for sure.
Do you guys break down footage when you guys are on tour? Is that how you guys do it?
Yeah, at the end of the day, we'll watch stuff, and that's where more, like, I think I'm looking at it going like, you should have hit it here, but I'm not like, if you move your knees forward a little bit, you would get more drive off your, like, I don't know that. I don't have that in me. I'm just like, you should hit that section, and you should do it like Owen Wright, something like that.
So this is kind of the elephant in the room. Does she get as mad as like we would when you miss like her best wave of the day? Does she come in and go, "What, you missed it?" And then she throws a tantrum in Portuguese?
So it's pretty funny is I'm one of those guys, like watching Taylor get absolutely obliterated from people, and then me, when Taylor would go, taking over the camera and trying to film everybody and missing people's waves. Like I missed a wave of Kelly, and he never forgot. And then on this last drive-through, I missed another wave. But like, how do you miss waves when people split waves?
And if they're that good of a surfer, you're under that much pressure to not miss it. Like Kelly's air in Florida, I was like telling a joke to one of the camera guys on the beach and thinking that was funny for some reason, just obnoxious style. And he missed Kelly's air. And I saw it and he didn't. And I went, Kelly just did the best air of the whole trip.
We all missed it.
And then I asked you and you're like, I missed it too. And then
but I got Eric Geiselman. So Eric split the wave up the beach. And I got
Priorities.
Eric. Red board, man.
Red board,
you got to put
bro.
color on your board if you want the filmer to get your wave,
But yeah,
but no, she does.
Cool.
I missed a right at Selena Cruz that she got, and she's all, I just got the best wave, and I'm all, there's no way you got the best wave of your life. No. And so I got the best wave of my life, and then Mikey Wright comes up, and he's all, she got the best wave of her life, and I'm all,
oh no. Did you say, well, that I hope it was a good one?
No, now I just usually say, like, I missed it. Sorry, I missed it. I was changing a battery. So that way, if I do get it, it is a surprise. Yeah.
Oh, no. So,
yeah, but she gets pretty bummed out. But, like, not like friendship ending bummed out, but she gets bummed out.
That means she's a real competitor.
Yeah.
She
is. She's
a beast.
She is. 100%.
And what's on the horizon? Are you guys going to go do that all over again next year?
Yeah, so this next year, I'm going to try to do the whole year with her. Usually I miss 1 or 2. Like last year, I missed half the season because we did the drive-through.
Hey, you finally made the tour.
Hey.
I mean,
hey.
Me and this guy tried to qualify for the tour a few times, and we just said, we'll never make it.
And
You're on
funny.
it.
It's funny because I know why I didn't. I see what it takes to make it, and like that's not in me. Like I cry.
Yeah.
And they're like, you can't cry if you're a competitor. Like that's
you cry in front of her.
For sure. Like she'll come in and I'll be like teary-eyed, and she's like, "Are you fucking crying?" And I'm all,
"You did so well."
Sorry.
I did see the one clip of you guys pulling her up the beach in Portugal, right? In Super Tubes.
Yeah.
And I see in the back smile. I think you're carrying her, and I love that picture. It was so cool to see you. Just probably just going, I can't believe she pulled this off. And that was like kind of on a good run where she won a couple, right?
Well, she won. Portugal was the first one, and she had lost at Pipe early and lost at Sunset early. And Portugal was the first one we had gone to together. But her husband, Jesse, was with us as well, and he doesn't go all the time. And I think that was like, it's just difference, you know? Like, you could see them clicking together and like, yeah, because fuck, it's hard. And everybody travels with friends or with a coach, and like, I can only imagine to have like, you know, that close of somebody with you, like your best friend, you know?
Yeah, I'm glad that we didn't have the cheering up the beach thing when we were young. You know how that came into like, I don't know when it started, like 2010 or something. But we did it one time with Kelly and Rob back in the day, but it didn't catch on. Dude, I would have had to carry Kelly like 56 times.
Your back would be
I would
worse
be
now.
screwed. I'd be like, Kelly won again. We got to go lift his weird scaly body up the beach again. It would be like, how many of those times, if he's won like 56 contests, so I'd be super jacked.
You know what it is? It's something like that, huh?
I think he's won 56 is what they were saying on the internet the other day. I go on the internet.
Jeez, the internet, it's a good place to go.
But what else is going on other than this project? I mean, we just so you know, this is the creator of Drive Thru. The pretty much 80% of my whole life is dedicated to stuff that he's done and filmed. I mean, he made my movie Life as a Movie. He shot everything in my life. So we just did Drive Thru last year. It's been a year on the date almost. Like last month was a year ago.
It was a year, yeah.
And I think in the works we're trying to do maybe a female one or something.
I wanted to, just because the caliber of surfing and just something different, like, you know, traveling with Tati and being around Carissa for a while, like, just the dynamic that those girls have is different and unique, but it's still so similar to what the guys are doing. But it's just different. It would be cool to see, because that was always the idea with the Drive Thru. Was I would come home, my brother would be like, how was it? And I'd be like, we scored J-Bay. It was the best wave. It was exactly what we thought when we were little kids. And he's all, no, what was it like? Did you guys go out at night? Like, was there girls? What did you guys do? And I was like, oh, and he's all, that's the footage I want to see. And that was, you know, why.
That's kind of where it
why
came
we
from.
did it, right?
No, you tell us. I was thinking about it while I was peeing. I was peeing earlier. And yeah, and I was thinking, you know, one thing I want to ask you is, like, the idea has been duplicated now. Like, the first year you did it was 2000, right? Was it 2000?
I think so.
The first one was, and I wasn't even involved in that one. I actually got onto the second one, but I was wondering how it came to fruition. Was it like, I'm going to grab these guys, we're going to get in a bus and go? Or did you, I think the reason why it's successful is the way you make it, though. I mean, that's the way you put the music to it, the way you come from each scene. Like, you created a look that's why it still stands as a test of time, that way you just made the new one, and it's so refreshing still. Like, you don't see anything like it. I know that's kind of tooting your horn, but, you know, it's kind of, is that from your brother saying, like, I want to hear about all the little things, and the guy like Donovan getting ripped his beard off or whatever, right?
Well, that was, I think that when we thought about it, my brother had said that, was I just called Taylor, and I just had my son. And, you know, we were all
Drew, this is the first.
Yeah, Drew. And it was like, we were traveling, but, you know, not competing, you're not getting paid. And it was just different. And like having a kid, you're like, wow, what am I going to do? And Taylor, like, what if we try to do this? Would you be into partnering up? And he's like, yeah, sounds epic. You know, Taylor's like, he's up for pretty much anything, especially if he doesn't have to do too much.
Right.
And, yeah, so that was really it. We started thinking of guys. That was really where he came in huge, was like, I won't be able to go.
The first crew was
Benji,
Barney.
Donnie.
No.
Barney. Sorry. Barney, Donnie. I asked you, but you were too big.
No, I was too big time. It's Sean Barney Barron.
Sean Barney Barron, Donnie, and Timmy Kern, and then myself.
Wasn't Machado on there too?
Rob came in like you. Like, you guys were willing to show up for like a day for your friend, you know?
Yeah.
But like,
I didn't even know what it was, so I kind of was, you know, like when your buddy's right there and you say, hey, try that, and they eat it, and then they don't like it, so then you don't eat it. That's what I was thinking. I was like, if it's cool and my friends say it's rad, I want to get on the next one. I'm an asshole, and that's why I'm such a good character on the drive-thrus, because I'm the guy that everyone hates.
Well, like, I think that was the whole thing, is when you come up with something new, nobody knows what it's going to be. And
And you guys were on a bus for a month. When you broke it down to 2 weeks.
No idea.
Month.
But that was a learning thing. Like we knew, like, hey, a month is too long. We could do it in 2 weeks, and then it would be like anybody's normal vacation.
Imagine Kelly on a bus for a month with you. At like day 3, you're like, get me. I mean,
hey, but he's
so chill. He always comes through for us, man.
In Italy,
really
that
does.
was that moment where like known him for a long time at that point, but for where he was at in his career, chasing world titles, and then like that shot of all like 9 of you guys in that little motorhome.
It was all
insane.
It really was. He brings authenticity, and he's like the biggest name in our sport, but he's the most like relatable in surfing. Like he actually loves surfing more than a 16-year-old little kid that's just like fired up, and that is what the drive. That's why Dane Reynolds was so cool, because he loves surfing so much. When they get on the drive-thru and you have one of those guys, it just turns into a rad moment because you're watching them go, this is like what I want in my life, is just a bunch of rad surfers pushing each other and having fun and making jokes, because Kelly likes to tell jokes that's just not that funny.
Well, it's funny is I like the more I hang out with him, the more I think he appreciates an experience. Mm-hmm. And like he stays forever in some of these places. Like everybody's like, I lost, I'm out of here. He's like, I lost, so I'm going to stay here for a month.
It's like bungee jumping and fucking hanging out with kangaroos and stuff.
Dude, where you're just like, but the difference is he enjoys the experience. So like, I think when he got on the drive-thru and it's you and Donnie and it's that type of experience that we all love and the realness of it, he's like, yeah, I'm in.
And we brought a shorter guy, Pat. So he felt
tall. He felt
you
big.
See him flexing over Pat in the whole thing.
That's funny because you'd think Pat would wear like high shoes, to fix that, but he doesn't.
They don't make Birkenstocks that are that thick.
They don't. They should. That's a thing.
Yeah, but how happy is it that your first son, Drew, is a police officer, and your second son is in Nicaragua doing airs over fake girls with boobs out and stuff?
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That was a cool little clip on Instagram. He's 21 now.
Parker's 21, yeah, and he's surfing amazing. And I think for me, it was like I just wanted the boys to be able to surf, and if they grabbed onto any part of it, and I still tell Parker like, hey, you need to be able to surf the rest of your life. Like if you don't like competing, you're out. Like don't do it because it will ruin it, and then you're gonna get some job, and you're gonna be like, God, I wish I just surfed still, you know. So that was always my thing. And my older son Drew can surf, but it just was never his thing, but when he comes into town, we all go for a surf.
Is he goofy?
No, he's regular foot.
You're all regular foots.
All regular foot,
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's cool to hear, because he also plays instruments. He's like super creative as a kid.
Yeah, and it's like
Parker, on the drive-thru, Parker just starts playing piano in front of all of us. And we're like, really? You're handsome, you're ripping, like stop it.
That was cool. It was fun to have him come that day at the surf ranch because
he grew up watching the drive. He's exactly the age of the drive-thru.
He grew up having his dad be gone for 20 straight days.
And then bring back videos of farts and stuff. And he's like, not even laughing. He's 5. Like, I don't think this is funny, Dad.
Where's my dad going? Why aren't you home, Dad? Yeah. So I think it was cool for him to.
And are we allowed to bring up the Star Wars obsession?
The problem?
No.
The problem?
It's the only friend I know what I'm getting. Every time I see a Star Wars thing, I'm like, oh, he'd love that. It's a coffee mug. Like, it's, whatever. His collection is on one of those American Picker shows or something. It's out of control.
I think that's half of my problem, though, is because friends will just buy stuff,
right?
And you're like, yeah, I'll keep it. This is awesome.
I want to see my Chewbacca. I got you like a Chewbacca one time. I was all psyched on that.
I have everything. Everything. It's either in the garage rafters, in cabinets. Do
you swap them out and like trade and do all that crazy stuff that people do in that trade? You know what I'm saying?
Not as much.
You offer up every once in a while.
When the boys were little, we would go to Toys R Us like 5 times a week and just look. And then Chris Drummy and
he's into it.
Chris Drummy was in. He was my Star Wars buddy. Yeah. And Taylor Steele's cousin
Donnie
Scott
Solomon, wasn't he?
Donnie was into it.
Because he had it on his board. Yeah.
Yep, Donnie was in.
Yeah. In that little club that we didn't know about.
No, it's a thing.
It's a thing.
Surfers are like
you're
Star
like
Wars.
You and Drummy go over to the side and you're like, hey. Yeah. Shit, did you see that new Chewbacca? That's funny. That's a cool thing to have, though. I mean, were the boys into it like you were into it, or do you force them into it?
I pretty much forced them into Star Wars. The younger one likes Lord of the Rings, but they both like movies. I was never a reader. I just love to watch movies. So
right. Well, that's why you make movies, yeah?
They both have seen every movie, but they haven't read any books. So
you got to get Parker maybe to start filming and get into that, so you can come on these trips.
Parker doesn't like to film.
Doesn't like to
At all.
Really?
At all,
I know.
yeah.
Actually, that was just Annie's job for a year. I think she was filming him. Oh, a few years.
Yeah, he doesn't like that. I've asked, as a parent, you're always trying to guide your kid into like, hey, I survived doing this. If you want to try, like I'd love to help.
He's into music, man. Maybe it's
I think so.
music.
That's what he's going to school for. So I think that's a path. But that came out of nowhere. So it's kind of like surfing. He wanted to surf one day. He fought it until he was 11, and it was like, okay, Dad, I want to go surf. And then it was like he never stopped. And then he's like, hey, I'm going to play music. And then it's like he doesn't stop. So, yeah.
It's fun watching these little buddies turn into men. So cool.
It's crazy. It goes by fast.
So what's the story with the drive-thru going for men? Are we trying to talk about? Should we even try to do it again?
I want to, but for me, that was, we took that time to get it back from fuel.
Yeah, that was a lot of work.
That was a lot of work, and we tried to raise the money to fund it, and we got a little stuck. So the 3 months of not having a job to get that done was hard. So I think
you got to understand, when we made the drive-thru, me and Donovan get a lot of credit. They're like, oh, you guys helped direct and produce, and it's such a joke. It's literally 3 guys filmed it, and then he makes the whole thing himself right here on this desk. And it's insane. You spend, what was it, 2 months?
3 months.
3 months on editing for just him. You would think when you watch the drive-thru, you're like, how many people made this thing? And that's what blows my mind the most is how much you can do as one person and then say, yeah, we should do another one. I'd be like, I would never want to do that again.
That one, I wish we had 2 other people because I didn't sleep at all. Like, you didn't sleep at all.
And then I had Metallica tickets tonight, and I want to repay him because if you don't know, for the drive-thru, our car blew up right on the way to go see Metallica, and he set up the whole Pennywise thing, and it was like all because of him. And he stayed behind with the van down by the river. And we went. So I got him a ticket for tonight, but he's pulling a switcheroo on me, and I'm going to just take that little doggy.
I haven't seen him.
I know.
Like
so it's only right here in your hometown, and I got you a ticket, VIP. Okay. But if you don't want to go, that's fine. I'll just cry about it. But we'll have more opportunities. Metallica is what? Those guys are young. I mean, come on. They'll be around.
They'll be around.
Okay.
They're around. At least another year.
Yeah, but it's nice to finally see Greg Browning's face on the camera instead of behind it. And, dude, honestly, what you've done in my life is almost laughable. But I appreciate everything you've ever done.
Thanks, buddy.
For real.
I appreciate you.
Emotional moment right there. But yeah, I can't wait to see what we're going to do.
One?
I am, but I definitely need time because I'm doing this restaurant thing and I got stuff going on. And I don't know. I just don't think that people want to see me anymore. I got little insecurities. But then Blink just came back out.
Blink came back. They're doing it.
Maybe that's my motivation. I'll just start doing fart jokes on stage. Oh, wait, I'm doing that too.
Him how he did it.
I know. I got to get Tom on the Poddy. We got to talk about this tour they're doing. It's going to be cool to see because they're still young enough to where they can still jump around and do weird shit.
Him and Mark were the funniest guys I think I ever saw together.
Yeah, so that alone, just seeing them together again is going to be like such a heartwarming moment for all of us that grew up with them. It's going to be sick. I'm looking forward to it.
They're really fun.
And they're good. That song that just came out is a killer song. I hated it. I'm like, I want a rope or whatever. I was like, want to blow my brains out. I was so catchy. I want to call Tom and go, I'm on a rope. I'm on a rope. I was like, fucking dick.
Your new ringtone.
Yeah.
The only guy with a music
The first thing I'm
ringtone.
going to do when I get him on my podcast, he goes, I'm on a rope. All right. Well, appreciate you, buddy.
Okay.
Thanks for coming out and coming about 10 feet from your office.
Thanks for coming to me.
Thank you, guys. That's Poddy Lady.